In yet another victory for President Trump, appeals court lifts order blocking Trump from using military funds for wall. This is The Hill, January 9th, 2020. We'll get to that in a second. For Democrats who say, oh my God, Trump is draconian and immoral, President Trump proposes path to citizenship for 1.8 million undocumented youths. The Guardian, January 25th, 2018. There are other Associated Press. Trump plans to offer citizenship to 1.8 million immigrants. January 25th, 2018. Why didn't Democrats take the deal? Oh, that's right. Because they want to be the ones to hang this frightening scenario above the heads of millions upon millions of their voters. Well, we're not going to help Trump with his immoral wall. And it doesn't matter if he wants to give immediate citizenship immediate pathway to citizenship for 1.8 million undocumented youths for the DACA program. We're not going to give him that vanity wall. Well, he's going to get it anyway. Democrats got nothing in return. Just like when President Trump, he was the first president to step foot in North Korea, and Moon Jae-in of South Korea stated he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize, the biggest foreign policy achievement in decades. I can't list a foreign policy achievement of that, even approaching that magnitude. But in recent memory. But just like that, they said, well, he's bringing warships to the Korean Peninsula. Oh my God, he's going to bring us to the brink of Armageddon and the apocalypse and the end of the world. Oh, it's just a photo op. So Trump's the first president to step foot in North Korea, just a photo op. Meanwhile, they look back in time. President Obama deported 3 million human beings, and he was on pace at this point in Obama's presidency, a faster pace deporting people than President Trump. But anyway, let's get to this. Same with each topic when it comes to Trump. He always overcomes and supersedes and is victorious over the propaganda. Whether it was with North Korea, he was the first president to step foot. Whether it was the wall, he was willing to give close to 2 million undocumented youths citizenship, pathway to citizenship, in the beginning of his presidency. Democrats said no. They said, no way. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. It's not worth giving Trump a victory. Well, he's going to get it anyway. Okay. The Mueller probe, they said he worked with Russia. No, well, we found out that not only did he not work with Russia, they set up and framed him with FISA applications that were doctored and completely riddled with inaccuracies, deliberate falsehoods, didn't give exculpatory evidence. And they said he worked with he worked with Ukraine. He tried to withhold military assistance from Ukraine. No direct evidence. 538 and the Associated Press. Those articles are below in the description section. No direct evidence. They can't get him on anything. You understand? And he always wins. He always gets what he wants eventually, because the whole point here, I kept saying, is that this was a national emergency. Democrats at first were saying, it's not a national emergency. Then they were saying, oh my God, there's a crisis. Then they're saying, well, he can't get the wall. So they don't really care. They had a chance for citizenship for 1.8 million young people. They said no. And we'll just read this. Appeals court lifts order blocking Trump from using military funds for wall. A federal appeals court late Wednesday lifted a lower court's order blocking the administration from tapping into military funds to help construct President Trump's long-sought wall. The decision comes less than a month after Judge David Briones of the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Texas dealt a blow to Trump by ruling in favor of an argument. In the wake of the appeal from the Trump administration, the Fifth U.S. Court of Appeals granted a stay of the Texas judge's injunction. The decision reportedly divided along party lines, with 2 Republican appointees voting to temporarily lift the lower court and a Democratic appointee dissenting. Well, there you go. And Trump has reshaped the courts. You shouldn't have cheated Bernie. You shouldn't have cheated Bernie. Thank God you did. Thank God you did, because now we have Trump. Well, Clinton was not going to win anyway, whether Bernie was cheated or not. She's going to run again. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. Remember hashtag I voted for Hillary? Well, it's like saying, it's like hashtag you don't like the food at a restaurant. Hashtag I ate at Jeffrey Dahmer's house. Same thing. Same thing. Oh, your husband, should ask for directions, but he doesn't. Okay, hashtag I went home with an Uber that was drunk. Got a DUI. Whatever. You know what I mean. With Clinton, you're talking about the biggest military hawk. And they're like, yeah, but we knew this would happen. Did you know that record low unemployment, record highs in the stock market, household median income up, wages up, poverty, 5 million people lifted out of poverty, 12.7% poverty rate when Trump took office, 11.3% now. Did you know that all these horrible things would happen? The unemployment rate for Black and Latino, for Hispanic and Latino men, is below the national average. The unemployment rate for Hispanic and Latino men is below the national average. Then you have a comedian, spreading, this horrible thing about Trump. It's like, the unemployment rate for Hispanic and Latino men is below the national average. It definitely hasn't been seen in decades, possibly for the first time ever. Trump's economy is working for people of color. President Trump is growing in popularity among Latino citizens, among black citizens. This is why Democrats, every single thing Trump does, they have to sensationalize. And he's still the most admired man, along with President Obama. This is according to Gallup. Could you imagine if media were fair, if they were, they gave him a chance. They asked him, in a respectful manner. They actually had interviews with him. What were you thinking? Okay, well, do you think that, what was it like, dealing with Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in and becoming the first president to step foot in North Korea? What was that like? Mr. President, what was it like? Mr. President, which one of your policies has allowed record low unemployment and record highs in the stock market? Mr. President, you never get that. You never get that. You never get that with Reagan, with Bush, with Clinton, with President Obama. You got this with all presidents. You had all the major news publications. You had all the major television cable stations or media outlets. They all had respectful. Bill O'Reilly's, that changed with Bill O'Reilly and President Obama. I actually didn't like that kind of confrontational, but even then, compared to what we see now, it's nothing. But when Reagan or, even Bush, when they would be asked questions about their achievements, it would be from the vantage point of, okay, tell us how you got to this conclusion, because things are going well. That doesn't happen today. So then Trump, he just goes, he says, look, I'll take it to the courts. Oh, a federal court, a district court ruled against me. I'll appeal it. Okay, and he wins the appeal because it is a national emergency. But here, and guess, ladies and gentlemen, all of the people talking about the subject of immigration, where were they when articles were written orphaned by deportation under President Obama? Where were they? Where were all the comedians? Where were all the people who cared about? They called Obama the deporter-in-chief. Where were the people who, this is a Senate investigation, and it's a New York Magazine article, they gave the children of migrants to traffickers. This is New York Magazine. New York Magazine. And Senate here. New York Magazine. Okay. Here. If you can go with Snopes, basically that's the Bible. Did Obama's administration place immigrant children with traffickers? Yeah, true. Okay, so that's the Snopes is all over the place, but even Snopes is like, yeah, it happened. Where were the Hollywood celebrities? Where were the Hollywood celebrities? There's a New York Magazine article by, I think his name's Eric. Okay, so hold on. Human traffickers. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, so report. Anytime you get a liberal or Democrat or whatever saying to you, oh, well, you know, the Trump is so immoral. Report. Obama administration handed child migrants over to traffickers by Eric Levitz. January 29, 2016. The United States government placed an unknown number of Central American migrant children into the custody. Okay, and if you could believe this, of human traffickers after neglecting to run the most basic checks of these so-called caregivers, according to a Senate report released on Thursday. Do the Hollywood celebrities know the whereabouts of these children? No. In the fall of 2013, tens of thousands of unaccompanied minors traveled to the U.S. in flight of poverty. Okay. At least 6 of those children were eventually resettled on an egg farm in Marion, Ohio, where sponsors forced them to work 12-hour days under threats of death. This is the wonderful President Obama administration. Oh, so wonderful. Chalk this up to all the wonderful things that they've presided over, like Flint water, when President Obama drank Flint water and said it was great to drink. Still poisonous, but still great to drink. And then liberals and Vox were like, you know, he tried. By the way, Vox, all those liberals who tried to disparage me, I didn't really care. They owe me an apology because Vox the other day said, yeah, why Bernie Sanders can win and can unify Democrats. And that was a journalist who was a hardcore Democratic Clinton supporter, hardcore. Okay, Clinton's going to be the nominee, but see, the thing is, whether it's intentional or unintentional, they have to kind of, pave the way for. Well, we liked Bernie, but we just couldn't do it. Anyway. Local law enforcement uncovered the operation last year, prompting Senate's Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations to open an inquiry into federal government's handling of migrants. Yeah. So we're supposed to... So this is a New York Magazine article. There's an actual Senate report you can read. Here, you can actually click on it. Senate report, protecting unaccompanied alien children from traffickers and other abuse. The role of the Office of Refugee Settlements. So everything was done from a purely public relations standpoint under President Obama's administration. Everything was done above board. The destruction of Libya, that was a NATO intervention. It was multilateral. Yeah, it was multilateral. A lot of people agreed on it. The Senate report saying that minors were actually being sent, given into the hands, into the arms of the most evil, wicked people. But that wasn't official policy. The official policy was deporting 3 million people. It wasn't official policy, though. Everything's public relations. Everything's public relations with Democrats and President Obama. But with Trump, it's like, if he drinks Flint water, he tried. If it was poverty increasing, well, but eventually it was decreasing. Trump gets credit for nothing. Nothing. Standing Rock did nothing was Standing Rock. Okay. We can go throughout the whole. I didn't know my servers. My Secretary of State had servers. No, yeah, right. Trump hailed the court decision in a tweet Thursday morning. Breaking news, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals just reversed a lower court decision and gave us the go-ahead to build one of the largest sections that desperately needed, $4 billion in tile walls under construction, and Democrats didn't get the 1.8 million undocumented immigrants who were given. Didn't get that. Okay? And they just, that's the Democratic Party. Like, no, you're not going to do anything good on our watch. And they don't do anything good on their watch either. Give me your thoughts below. Check out Aisha Goodman's other channel right this second.